how I caught my case is I dabbed into something that I shouldn't have never dabbed in.
Okay.
I dabbed into I had a friend that wanted methamphetamine. I don't do methamphetamine.
Right.
That's not my deal. I'm like I said, I grew up in a white neighborhood. They all did it.
Right.
Right. I'm a weed head. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Right.
You know, I've mushrooms and weed. You know, I'm not 60s child. You know, 60s, 70s. I'm free, free loving.
Right. Weed and mushrooms never.
But some guy wanted some methamphetamines, and I was like, that's not what I do. But I know who has it.
Right.
You know, I knew whatever you wanted, I can get it.
Right.
Like if you wanted a midget, I'm gonna find you a midget.
You know,
I'm gonna make it happen. I was like, I'm your super concierge. What you want? I'm gonna go get it.
I get it.
So I just I happened to dip into something that I shouldn't have dipped into, and because I like to succeed on what I do, I just kept trying to make it happen. And the person that introduced me to another person, they say the confident informant.
Wow.
And he wanted to buy some meth, and then I got him. So I talked to my friend. Boom, we did it the first time, and then they liked it. Then they did it again. They asked for it again. And if when you're dealing in drugs, there's rules and rules and regulations. I'd never forget. My boy when I was younger taught me the rules. Like, if somebody asks for one pound or whatever, and then next thing you know, they turn around and ask for 5 or 10, then you need to back off because that's too much too fast.
Right.
So I knew those rules, and this guy just kept asking for more and more. So basically, now that I know that he was the CI, he's basically trying to do is build the case as big as it is, so he can take whatever his time was to bring it down.
Right.
But again, like I said, this wasn't my thing. That's not my deal. They tell me, they call me, I call my friends, I tell my friends because I knew that's what they did.
Right.
They told me the number they wanted. I figured a way how to put the number that I wanted, and they would just make it happen. But there was this one incident where the guy had called me up, and he wanted 10 pounds.
This was the CI?
Yeah, the CI called me up and said,
somebody introduced you to the CI, though, right?
Well, it was a friend of mine introduced me to the CI.
But the friend didn't know he was a CI.
He didn't know either until I got busted. I'm calling him, saying, you know who that dude was? And what happens, they place this confident informant in this building, in this business. And he got I guess he was just searching, and he got a hold of my friend. Well, he wasn't even really my friend. I mean, you said we could say anything.
An acquaintance.
Acquaintance. I was screwing this girl, so
Okay, right.
so I had to be his friend somehow to keep it going, right? So, basically, and so then with that, he needed something, and he called me, and then we just kept going back and forth,
right?
Boom, and just within that time of doing so many, the guy just said, "Hey, you know what? I want 10."
Wow.
And then I knew the rules. I'm like, back up. Like,
right.
These rules are not right.
Right.
Something's not right. So I call the people that who I'm dealing with,
right,
because they know the person that taught me.
Gotcha.
So if they already know that I know the same patterns, the same rules you guys know, we learn from the same
How's he
person.
going up so fast? Who is this dude?
So when I told them, I said, hey, this guy wants 10. I'm expecting them to say, hang up your phone, break your shit, move, get the hell out of there.
Abort.
So he was like, hold on, right? He called me back the next day and says, we can do that. So I figured since he said that it was clear and he knows the rules too,
right?
If he's okay in it, then we're gonna let it ride. We're gonna go ahead and let it do what it's got to do. And it took a while, because I would get phone calls all the time. But the reason why I'm getting these phone calls and they're trying to make these meetings is because the feds were only allowed to take the money out and have it out for so long.
Right.
And then they got to go back and turn it back in.
Right.
Or there were days when I'm ready to do it, but they can't do it because they don't got the money.
Right.
So,
and they don't like to get that money out. They don't like to have that money.
No, yeah, exactly. They can't float around, so it's got to be checked back in, back and forth, So then eventually one day I was telling him, you know what? I don't want to do it no more, because I was tired of the phone calls. After a while, the phone calls was just driving me wild. And so you figured I mean, the story is really. I'm actually going to make a movie about the story, but
As you should.
you figure that at when they make their little diamond,
Right.
I was probably the low man on the totem pole, but they're seeing me, they're calling me, and then I took the guy who introduced me. I said, man, don't worry about you, because he used to call me all the time,
Right.
and I made him move out the way.
Okay.
So now it's direct.
See, I was dealing with
Boom,
him,
boom.
and he was calling you.
Yeah, so it's going up. So it starts going up.
Wow.
You know, I'm like, yo, you're gonna get your cut regardless. Don't
Yeah, I
worry
got
about
you.
it.
Don't worry about it.
I got your cut, and I hope you get it from him, but I got you. But it's just that aggressiveness and being arrogant and trying to. I just wanted to get this done. It was just driving me wild. Anything I did was just supposed to be in and out, be done, be in and be out, be done with it.
Right, in and out. I see what you did. I like it.
And once I made that move, man, it just put me in a different position. And from what I hear and I read from my case, the confident informant, he was like telling this guy, yo, he's the man that supplies all of Hollywood with meth. Like he's hyping me up.
Yeah, so the fans are
So the
like,
fans, like keep going. Like,
chest bumping and everything. We got him.
we got the king.
Good job, CI.
Listen, man,
He probably didn't do no time.
I'm living in Hollywood. I'm driving a Buick. I ain't got no gold chain. I got nothing to show.
Right.
I'm just hustling to pay rent. And I was working at the
crazy.
corporate office of Bank of America.
Wow,
So I was
you was
cool.
at the bank.
I was at Bank of America. So this is what the whole thing is like. Dude, hey, officers, just for me to even work at the bank, my shit got to be clean.
Right.
So you don't got no dirty jacket on me.
Right.
But besides that, we kept going doing the deals, and then they wanted that 10, and then we had finally arranged a day to do the 10. And on that day, it was just a strange day when I got off work and I stopped at the store and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna buy all this goodies. I'm about to get paid, right? So I'm at the store buying all kind of chicken, all kind of food, everything. It's like,
We'll go crazy.
It's about to go crazy, right? This is gonna be a celebration. And I go to the market and everything just starts going crazy from that point. When I get ready to go check out, I'm going to go check out my food. There's this little kid, and he walks up to me, and he has like a pack of Hot Wheels, and he takes the Hot Wheels and he just puts them on the conveyor belt as that stuff's going down, and then the checker goes. She says, "Is this your little kid?" And he was like Armenian, right? I'm like, nah. She goes, "Well, he just put those cars on here. Are you gonna buy them?" It's like Christmas time. It's like November-ish, right?
Okay.
He goes, he put these cars on here, and I said, well, how much are they? It's like $5. And in my head, I'm like, if I can't afford $5 for some Hot Wheels, what the hell am I doing in here?
Right.
So I buy them, right? So this is what the cashier says. Oh man, that was so nice of you. She goes, God's gonna do something special for you.
Wow.
I remember this. I remember her words. She says, God's gonna do something special for you. Okay.
You looking out for KP,
Yeah,
looking out for the kid.
looking out for the kid. I do my thing. His mom comes, tries to give me money. I'm like, I don't want the money. I get in my car and I drive to my apartment. When I drive, normally I park in my back, but this time I decided to let my boys park in the back and I'm gonna park in the front. So when I decide to park in the front, the guy grabs his, your peripheral vision. You can see certain things. I park and I see this car next to where I park, and I see someone pull their seat back. I'm still not paying. I'm not really tripping on it.
Right.
Sometimes I come home after a long day, pull the seat back, sit in the car, blow one before I go in the house.
Got you.
I go
So
in
it
the house.
doesn't really register.
There's nothing's registering now. All this starts
When you
after
look back
everything.
in
That I'm like,
hindsight,
whoop, 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 whoop.
Like, holy cow.
And so I go in the house. I call my boys. My boys come. They end up showing up. I tell them where to park. We sitting down. We waiting. And every time we did transactions, it was always at this Thrifties, and it was right across the street from this Baskin Robbins. So we'd always do our transactions there. So when those days would happen, I told him the number. I told him what to put in the envelope, and my boys would do the transaction. Okay. All I would do was grab the package with the money, go home, make sure everything's right. So if my end is short, whatever's short, I give them, and whatever the profit was, that's mine.
Got you.
So I was just the money guy. Bam, I grab the money, put it, count. They do all their exchange and their talking.
Do what y'all do.
So this time when I'm at the house, waiting, my boys show up. I said, "Where's everything?" Everything's in the car, and they go, "Hey, we got a little bit of a problem." And I go, what's the problem? They go, well, we don't have 10, we only have 5. I said, I said, fuck it, 5. Fine, I'll do this 5 because I had already jumped out. I jumped out and told them that they can have the deal. And I said, I'll just take whatever you're gonna give me, I'll just take. And you guys can have the big load. And when it happened, they was like, no, we'll just switch it. You get, so they got the 5. I mean, they only bought 5. So I'm like, look, we'll do the 5. You guys can handle the other 5. I'm done. Right. I had a headache. I'm tired. I want to be out.
I want to eat my chicken.
I want to eat my chicken, smoke my bong. Right. And
it's taking too long.
And so we're waiting for the phone call, and then I get this phone call on my phone. And it's the confidential informant, and he says, I'm outside of your house. I'm like, so I'm sitting there like, what the fuck? How the fuck this motherfucker know where I live?
Holy shit.
Right? I ain't never, you don't shit where you eat, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Especially on something like that.
Never bought him in.
So I'm like, how does this dude know where my house is? So now like instantly like these 3 Iron Man screens just came up. And I'm like, okay, my friend might have told him where I live. And then I'm like, I can't tell these dudes who brought this stuff because they real gangsters, you know, Mexican cartel.
Oh man, you're getting it from the Migos.
So, so they're like, I can't tell them because they're gonna think I'm setting them up. And I don't know if they got guns. Of course, it's a lot. So of course there's some type of firepower
they
there.
They don't have them. They got them close. They know where to get them.
And then on the third one, on my third screen, I'm just like, what the fuck am I gonna do? So I just said, fuck it. All right, I'm gonna come outside and come get you. So I go outside and get them. And I didn't really want to act surprised and say anything. I didn't tell them because they was in my room. I didn't tell them anything. And they come out. And we all go down. My boy goes to the car, grabs the bag. It's in a Nordstrom's bag. And he grabs the bag. And then as we're walking, he gives the bag. No, I take the bag and I tell him to go talk to him. That was my mistake. If I would have let him have the bag, everything would have been different. But I grabbed the bag instead. Since I'm gonna be grabbing the bag with the cash, I had the bag with the dope in it. So we're walking, we're talking. I lived in Hollywood at this East Hollywood at this time, and like Thai-town area. And as we're walking out of my apartment building and we start walking down the street, he's like, yeah, the money man's gonna be, he used to always call the dude the money man.
Okay.
He called the feds the money man. He says the money man will be here in a minute because I had pre-told him.
That's what the CIA said.
Yeah, the CIA said. Because I had told the CIA, I said, I want everything in a bag. This is how much I wanted exactly a count. And so then when I told him that, hey, we have a little problem, he says, what's the problem? I said, we only have 5 instead of 10. And I said, so tell your money man that basically he is just gonna take half of that bag and cut it in half, and just give me that, and whatever's short, I'll get it. Well, he says okay. So then does his talk, and then his phone rings, and we're walking down the hall. He's gonna meet us over here. We're walking down the sidewalk, and his phone rings, and he picks up the phone, and he's like, yeah, okay. He puts the phone down and says, hey, I need to see how many are inside that bag. I said, all right. So I open the bag. He goes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5. Okay, we'll see you in a second. This is flip phone time. As soon as he flips the phone, these dudes started coming out of trees, rocks. They was coming out of spot. They was like coming from everything. I'm like, where the hell are these motherfuckers at? Hiding and shit. Like it was like about 25 ATF dudes with the whole the mask, the cover, the whole 9, right? The whole get down on the ground. Like the police are blocking off Hollywood. Like I stopped traffic on Hollywood Boulevard and this other street, and I'm just like, oh shit. Now my dumb ass. I had my good friend work that punk, and I'm thinking that he put some.
You literally thinking?
I'm not thinking that.
This dude just sent me.
This dude just sent me on punk.
Well, you got me.
Right?
All right. Playtime's over.
And then I'm sitting there. Now, prior to that, when I used to go downstairs, there used to always be this bum. And where I lived, there wasn't really bums. But there's this bum that would always be in my trash can, right? And I would tell him, hey, look, we don't let bums down here, but we got good shit in this trash over here because it's kind of rich over there. Right. We got some good shit in this trash. As long as you don't mess up the trash, you can come and take all day. I tell this bum that, and he has his face like that. and I seen it one time. That was the motherfucker that was on top of me saying,
Yo.
"Yo, K-Pook, Keldrin Joshua, Pookie." But he named every alias I
alias you
had.
got.
He was like, "You're a big dude," so I had to bring all with a motherfucking shotgun in my head in my dome saying, "You're a big dude." So I had to bring all these dudes just in case you want to fight or run. I'm like, I ain't going nowhere. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
You got a
No,
gun.
I told you you can get all the food you want out of this garbage.
And I'm looking at him like, this motherfucker, I should have kicked his ass out a long time ago, you know? And then basically, then from there, they picked me up, me and my boys up. They out there making us, putting the dope all by our face, taking the pictures, you know, all shining, trying to like, yeah, we got a big, you know.
Clown show.
The clown show, right? So when they take me back to my house, they leave us, me in my front yard. So now all my neighbors are out looking.
Wow.
You know, I got all Armenian neighbors. They already didn't like me. Shit. You know, I'm over here talking to their daughters and shit. Right. They already didn't like me.
We knew he was no good.
We knew it. Yeah, you know, his house always smelled like weed. Right. You know, and the next thing I know, another guy came and put me in that car. That remember I parked to when the guy had put. I left in that car. Yeah.
Wow.
And then the dude was sitting there just explaining everything to me. And I'm just like, oh fuck. I'm like, no, this is not happening right now.